Hello friends, I am so excited about today's video. We are celebrating Mel. Mel has crossed an amazing YouTube milestone. She has crossed 500 subs, or subscribers, followers, people who automatically receive notifications from Facebook that she has a new layout up. And I am so happy to be part of this hop where we are celebrating her achievement. In this hop, she was talking about either choosing someone to scrapbook, someone that supports you and is there for you, or to choose one of her layouts and scraplift it. And I decided to do a little bit of both. So I am going to use this layout as kind of my base. There were a lot of things that I really loved about it that I kind of wanted to play with. One are these squares. I love it. I have some 6x6 paper pads. These happen to be the Pink and Main ones, but I have lots of different companies, and I really wanted to figure out a way to use them on a 12x12 layout without it being like a big 6-inch square in the middle. And this layout really screamed to me that that was a fantastic way to do that. The other thing I wanted to do was include in this the piece that Melanie had mentioned about someone who supports you. So let's take a look at the pictures. So this is from our trip to Mexico. And this is one of my favorite photos. And that person that is always there for me, that always supports me, is my husband. He is my rock. He is hysterical. He frustrates the holy heck out of me. I don't know if you have that kind of love in your life, but oh my goodness, it is fantastic. And so I really wanted to do that. I also love this picture from the boardwalk area, and so my thought was that I may do some things with that. All right, let's talk about paper real quick. My background, I am going to use this wood grain. She has used a wood grain here in her layout in some of the squares, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use it as my background piece. And I have, this is an older Stampin' Up! Collection. I don't even know if it's around anymore, but it was all textures. So we're going to use this wood grain as the background. See, like, I don't know, that looks like fabric or rug to me. But we're going to use the wood one. And then I pulled these papers from Pink and Main's. I think some of them may be Color Basics, and then the others are out of the Home Sweet Home paper pad. And so what I'm going to do is cut these into, I think these are 1-inch squares. And then we're going to start arranging. I'm going to distress the edges of them. One of the things, I have never worked with their paper. It has a little bit of a glossy finish, so it's going to be really exciting for me to see how this works, how this holds up. I really love, you know, that it's double-sided. We may flip and flop, but I love this watercolored look in the background. And then we have a few prints. There is a floral, and then on the back of this one there was a dot. The dot to me kind of sinks in, but I don't know. So we're just gonna play. We're gonna cut and we're gonna play and we're gonna arrange, and yeah. So I am going to cut the mic. I am gonna get out the trimmer and we're gonna cut up some squares. I am thinking, I'm kind of thinking I'm going to make these 1.5-inch squares instead of 1-inch squares. Yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do. All right, so I'm cutting the mic off. We'll speed this up. We'll be back in a minute. All right, so I am diving in because I realized something. If I cut every one of these papers, I'm going to have a gajillion little squares. And so kind of what I thought I would do was come in and do 4 rows and see kind of what I needed, if that makes any sense. Because I don't think I want to cut all of these papers up. Like, I think I may need to leave some. We may need an extra row there. So I'm just kind of laying in a grid. That's not in the right place. Hold on, I'll have to figure out where that goes in just a second. Maybe that one goes there and this one goes here. All right, let's do this one next. There, 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 there. And then we'll do this one. There, 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 and there. All right, so here's the question. Do I tighten these up a little bit and add another row? I don't like that one. Add another row. All right, I think that's what I want to do. Yep, I like that. All right, then we have our big photo that will go kind of here in the middle. Now, down the side, she did have some pieces, you know, that were over here. And so we'll play with that. I'm not 100% sure it's going to be squares, but that is where we are, and I will be back in just a minute. All right, so I up these. I'm going to go ahead and cut the camera off. Y'all don't want to watch me scuff. You've seen me do it before. It's just this little scuffer tool from Tonic Studios and Tim Holtz. You can use a scissor. Some people use their fingernails. I just use this little tool. It's just kind of what I got, and it's my go-to. So I'm going to finish doing those. Then I will turn the camera back on and we will stick them down. I'm really liking the direction this is going. I'm trying to use the thought of 2/3 having squares and only 1/3 just the wood. That's a balance thing. I also am thinking that I'm definitely going to add these two photos to this because I really feel like they help tell the story. Then when I was looking at Mel's layout, let me bring that back in so you can see it. She has her title up at the top and then her embellishments at the bottom along with this piece on the side. I think I'm going to slide that piece over to give me my 2/3, 1/3 feeling. And then I've got to figure out embellishments because I literally have no clue. I may do something with a cut file. Probably will do something with a cut file. So that's where we are. That's what's going to happen. I'll be back with you shortly. Alright, so I have everything edged, scraped, gives it just a little bit of roughness. I really like how that works. I have laid these out in a somewhat pattern because I don't have as many rows this way as I do this way. The pattern feels a little bit off, so I will be moving some of these around as I go to stick them down. I do like kind of the blue to green progression, so that'll probably stay. I may flip-flop some. I may not. I don't know. We'll see. But now I am going to stick these down. Then we'll have our photo here, and then we'll add in our two smaller photos as well. Alrighty, here I go. Alright, so I printed my journaling. This is where we are. I added some vellum circles. I popped up some of the squares just to, I don't know, give it a little up and down. Did some vellum circles to go behind the picture. I'm going to cut my journaling into strips and put it there. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you? So I have started printing some of my journaling. I don't love my handwriting, so it becomes kind of an issue. And then I don't want to have it on video because I don't like it. So this was my workaround. And this is what I do. I print onto cardstock, and I use Century Gothic, I think that's the name of it, as my font. And then I do my line spacing at 1.1, which in my thought is perfect for splitting these pieces apart. It's enough room that I can get all of the ascenders and descenders. You know, those are the letters that go above and below, and not have like a ton of space. So this just becomes my process of doing the journaling. And I don't think I've ever shown this on video. So I thought rather than speeding it up, I would do real time and just let you explain what I'm doing and then let you see it. Now, one thing I noticed once I had printed this, I forgot to put the date on there. A lot of times I will drop in my text box the date at the end, and I didn't do that this time. All right, now here's the fun part. Now that I've got all my strips cut apart, I like to keep them in order. I mean, I could read and figure out what goes where. I mean, that's not a big deal at all. But I do like to keep them in order just so I don't have to think. And then I use my scissors to trim them up rather than trying to trim on the trimmer. I just snip with my scissors. Oh, this is going to be perfect. I do like using the, these are by EK Tools, the reverse tweezers that when you hold them, like when they're in their resting state, they are pinching, and then when I pinch them, they release. So these are probably my favorite scissors. Ooh, hello. That slid. So I love using the Berry Art glue, but you do kind of have to put your finger on it for a second. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about this day. I have talked about it some before. I've done other layouts, but this really probably was my favorite day while we were in Mismaloa. It was the day that we took public transit in, which I have no pictures of being on the bus or the bus system or any of that, but it was hysterical. The road out of Puerto Vallarta to Mismaloa is probably the bumpiest, curviest road ever. And one of the things that I've noticed in this part of Mexico that I don't remember really any other parts that I've been to, this part of Mexico uses speed bumps. So like the speed bumps that we would have here in the States, that's their system of slowing down traffic rather than stop signs. Now, obviously, if you come to a corner somewhere, there's going to be a stop sign. But, like, if they need to slow down traffic on this main road because there's going to be a bus stop coming up, or there are resorts on either side. And by resorts, I really mean more like houses built into the side of, or hotels and houses built into the side of the mountain. This is not beach like I think of beach. I think of beach as very flat land. Those of you in the States, it would be the Gulf Shores area kind of beaches. Yeah, this isn't that. This is definitely West Coast, mountainy beaches. So reminds me more of when we have been on the beach areas of, like, say, in Oregon or Washington State. Northern California is very much like the beach situation here. So this beach that I'm actually showing is not very deep. It is actually quite narrow. Literally, where I'm standing is the end of the beach. Like, there's boardwalk and buildings right behind me. So it is a very narrow area. And as you get out further and closer to Mismaloa, the beaches are kind of, I don't know, they're drop-in beaches. So it's not like, there is a ton of room for, like, there's not a ton of beach. I don't even quite know if I'm explaining it right, but it is fantastic. The little beach areas, they're very fun. But this is in what's called Old Town. It's in Puerto Vallarta. There are amazing shops. There are lots of little restaurants. There's this boardwalk area. It's where the Puerto Vallarta sign is. So if you've ever seen the big, colorful Puerto Vallarta sign letters, this is where that's located. It's further, like, if you're standing here, it's that way down the beach. And this was just a really fun day for us. We took the bus in. We walked around. We got some ice cream on the boardwalk, which wasn't ice cream like U.S. ice cream. It's not a dairy-based ice cream. And it was fantastic. I had lime. It was wonderful. And it was just a day where we sat and we laughed and we caught up with each other. And our friends that live in Mismaloa, we don't always get to see. We don't see them frequently, is what I'm trying to say. We see them every couple of, well, almost yearly. But, I mean, you know, it's, when COVID hit, it was less. So I am going to try to stick just a little bit of glue on there and stick that down. All right, and here it is. I need to put a date on it, and I will figure out where I'm going to do that. And then I will have still shots. I want to thank you so much for coming along. Again, today we are celebrating our friend Mel and her huge achievement here on YouTube. I hope to be having my own celebrations soon. She is now above 500 subscribers, and that is a huge, huge deal. And congratulations, Mel, if you are watching this. I loved having the opportunity to celebrate you and congratulate you, and then to lift one of your layouts. My friends, I hope that you would like this video. Lets YouTube know that you're enjoying the content. It helps them to push it out to other people. And then, my friend, if you are not a subscriber, this would be the perfect time to subscribe. I am really have a goal for myself to be at 500 subscribers pretty soon. And so I would love to have you be one of my earliest subscribers and know when all of my videos are put out. Again, I put out 2 to 3 things a week, including my every Sunday Scrap Lift Crafternooners group, where we get together. It's a group of us. We get together and we scrap lift the same layout, so you get several takes on one layout and how we all look at it differently and how we pull out different pieces. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Until next time, my friends, go make some memories. Bye-bye.